Poetic Travelogue. Part 3 finds me artfully winding through on my way in a southerly pathway driving the Stuart Highway, absorbing a tide of awesome views in my brain, attempting to hear the divine melody the land's beauty has made, witnessing the sun set on one side and rise again, renewed for the day, in big sky country, true scale defying any ruling or frame of a painter or a poet or a troubadour's pen, as the vast artistry inherent in its own construction, its sheer eruption of seeming nothing, is too huge to be tamed. Physically belted in the driver's seat, I loosen any mental fetters or chains, watching thunderheads menacing like gigantic jellyfish in the waves float across the sky from horizon to horizon with cloud crania and trailing tendrils of rain and lightning stingers casually jabbing the land with their flames. Occasionally caught underneath one and refreshingly drenched in torrents of ink to the core, on sheet lightning I keep writing the poems that sink through my shore, before being baked the next minute in solar energy transmitted here from the source. But it's not long before I'm overtaken by the next overwhelming road, train of thought in this refrain, this score, this movement. Take this very highway. Fascinating when you view it. It was named after John McDouall Stuart, who was an explorer sent on an intrepid expedition with a mission, a task to try to traverse the continent for the very first time, from Adelaide to Darwin, at last to find an overland route for a telegraph line. And he did it. And the route he tirelessly selected became the very same direction that the wires were laid in. And when built, it permitted the sending of messages from London to Adelaide, and instead of taking months of effort with letters and shipping, it could get in a question of hours and minutes, relatively a very short time. And Stuart's impressive feat is remembered for all time in the name of this road that follows pretty much the same long line and design. What's more, it's a precursor to the telephone, mobiles, the internet, and developed into us connecting globally online. Sharing and trading goods and ideas, whatever you want you can buy. Stay up to date with news worldwide. Know your precise location on a map with an ability that's nigh on divine. But it also calls to mind another type of mapping that existed long before we arrived. The little comprehended phenomenon of Aboriginal songlines. It's more than just myth. Back in the primordial mist, the dreaming of every single creature to be born or exist walked the land, freestyling a poetic song from its lips, singing a couplet for each footfall and step. And all of these thousands of songs and the land are inextricably linked, and each human born was conceived spiritually with a connection to it, and was responsible henceforth for singing the song through. And not just preserving the part of the land that they belong to, but actually bringing it into existence, renewing it with each rendition of the song's tune. And one upshot of this is that these song lines, in fact, crisscrossed the land from coast to coast, and every coast and back, and could act as an intricate oral network of communication, information exchange, trade, and even a map. An indescribably sanctified relationship with land at a level that us Judeo-Christian/scientists could never understand. Little wonder that my ancestors thought nothing of their plan to relocate the Aboriginal people to other places, and on top of that, to commence immediate dramatic land alterations and construction projects which trashed that pact that the Aboriginal people and the land had. Imagine if someone had told the British that a system of communication on this continent was already in place, far more sophisticated than anything we'd invented to that date. Would we have respected it? The trouble is, to get the correct impression of the scale of it, you couldn't be comparing it to letters or telegraphy. It's far more intricate. The only thing that comes close wasn't even close to existing yet. The internet. So think about yourself for a second, how pissed you're getting when the internet is down or slow for a minute. Recall how deep is the stress when you get to a new place with no Google Maps and no GPS, no Google Translate, no email, and when you see anything of interest, no Wikipedia to tell you what the heck it is. And we've had the benefit of this now for about 20 years, and its abilities have steadily increased. Imagine now that the internet have been around for 60,000 years at least, with no service providers, no NSA, no spam, no virus protection, no fees, and it's so advanced it preserves instead of exploiting nature's gifts. Then all of a sudden, some aliens invade us who communicate using handwritten letters. They smash up our internet and put us in fetters, leave us with a little bit of internet that remains to share between all of us internet users, the equivalent of one single MySpace page. Then expect us to just get on and survive. How would you feel if that was your experience online? But now imagine that it's not really the internet that was consigned to hell, but our very connection to life itself. I can only imagine what this would do to my mind state. And that's without even considering the physical violence that was used to brutally violate. Now imagine if, instead of invading, we had arrived with the agenda to trade, learn and elevate our minds in connection with the earth to a higher rate. Imagine what we could have learnt that day. And the knowledge is still somewhat present. Is it really too late? These are just some of the thoughts I have while absorbing a tide of awesome views in my brain, attempting to hear the divine melody that the land's beauty has made, witnessing the sun set on one side and rise, renewed for the day, as I'm winding through on my way, in a southerly direction, driving on the Stuart Highway. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it as much as the flies enjoyed drinking my hard-earned sweat. Now, before I sign off on this poetic travelogue, I want to introduce someone to you. This is my steed, thanks to my homie Stevie. I'm relocating his vehicle for him. Look how dope it is. And yeah, we're having a good time. So, we'll be driving southwards. I have more poems to present to you pretty soon. So stay tuned, and if anyone wants to donate some food for this guy, some diesel, please feel free. And thanks very much to my patrons as always, and most importantly of all, flies, I mean, peace.